Hey everybody, today I just wanted to do a quick video on cursors on graphs in LabVIEW. So I feel like this is a feature a lot of people just aren't aware of that's available with graphs. But yeah, so we have just like a graph here. Going to run this, just generates a sine wave, puts it onto the graph. And so I've added this little cursor legend here. So if you right click on your graph, go to visible items, there is this cursor legend, so you can turn that on or off. By default it's off. So I've turned it on, and we get what it looks like over here, where we can list out any amount of cursors, and it also will break out the X and Y coordinates of those. So I can right click on this. It has its own settings if I want to customize kind of this menu. But what I want to do right now is just create a cursor. And when I go to create a cursor, you can see I can either select free, single plot, or multi-plot. So free just is going to let me move it anywhere on the graph. So I might have a waveform, like in this example, I have a sine wave, right? The free, I don't necessarily have to be on the sine wave. Single plot is going to snap to a specific plot. So example, my sine wave. And if I have a graph with multiple plots, this multi-plot allows you to, as the name suggests, snap to any of multiple plots. So I'm going to do a single plot first and just demo this. So you can see I get my cursor, and it's on plot 0. I can also name this if I want, anything I want. And if I right click on this, there's a whole bunch of different things I can do here. So I can just make it snap to a certain plot. I can control attributes of it, like what color it is. So if I wanted this to be a red cursor, I can change that. I can change things like the line width, style, etc., etc. And I'm actually gonna scoot this up to the top. Whole bunch more things here, right? If I want these lines to be thicker, I can make them thicker, etc. And when I'm done with this cursor, I can actually just click delete cursor and remove it. And another thing I use a lot, so if you notice, by default it kind of snapped over there to the side. I usually like to, when I'm using these, click this bring to center button, and it just brings that cursor right to the middle. And if you notice, it is reading out over here the X and Y coordinates that I'm at, and as I move this, it's not following my mouse, it's actually following the plot. So as I move across kind of the x-axis, it stays pinned to the plot, and I can read any values along there. So I can move back and forth, etc., etc. I can also create more cursors, so I can create another cursor, and this one I'll create a free just to show you what that looks like. So let's call this one our free cursor. And I'm going to bring it to center just to make it easy to grab. So if you notice this one, I don't need to be on the actual plot. I can move this anywhere on the entire graph, and I get my coordinates read out over here. So really, really simple to work with. Create something similar to like what you would see on like an oscilloscope. Where you might need to pick out certain points on a graph, and this is something that you can do manually just by dragging these around, but also programmatically you can control these cursors as well. So if you had some code that's doing some analysis, and it's picking certain points and doing some math, you can actually programmatically move cursors to those positions and then export like an image that shows where those measurements were taken or something like that, or display that on the display for the user to see. So you can do lots of cool stuff like that, but they're super simple. One other thing I wanted to show, you just get also this little it's kind of 4 buttons. So basically you can click these and it will move your selected cursor, so I can see which one's selected because it's highlighted. And I can basically use that to move it left, right, up, down, all that fun stuff. So that's another way you can move them in addition to just grabbing them, dragging them, etc. And I've been grabbing the center. You actually can also grab the lines, so that way I can just move in a single axis, and same there. So really cool features. I feel like just a little underused, but I've found them very useful in a lot of applications. So just wanted to create a little video and highlight their existence and how to use them. So hopefully that's helpful, and thanks for watching.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.